From Thrones to Thrones, a comical journey through toilet history. Welcome, noble listeners, to another steaming hot episode of History That Won't Put You to Sleep. Today, we're diving deep into a subject that truly stinks, in the best way possible. That's right, we're flushing out the secrets behind humanity's most underappreciated invention, the toilet. From ancient holes in the ground to smart thrones that squirt water and play classical music, the story of the toilet is one of innovation, desperation, and elimination. So grab your favorite seat, preferably one with a lid, and get ready for a surprisingly rich history of how we learned to do our business better. Whether you're listening on the porcelain throne or on your daily commute, which may or may not involve clutching your coffee like it's a plunger, this episode promises to be a wild ride. Let's flush away the shame and plunge into the hilarious, surprisingly epic history of the toilet. The world's first flush. Let's rewind about 4,500 years to the Indus Valley Civilization, present-day India and Pakistan. These folks were not playing around. They built actual toilets. And we're not talking random pits in the ground. We're talking carefully designed stone seats with water channels that drained into covered brick sewers. Imagine a civilization in 2500 BCE with better urban planning than some cities today. While your cousin Gary still pees behind the garage, the Harappans had a literal sanitation system. Their homes had private toilets, connected to street-wide drainage systems. It was like an ancient spa day, squat, splash, done. Meanwhile, over in Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt, toilet tech was a bit more rustic. Think clay pots and sand for absorption. It wasn't glamorous, but it got the job done. Of course, none of this stopped people from just going in rivers or behind bushes when they felt lazy. Some things never change. By 1500 BCE, the Minoans on Crete were also getting fancy. They had flushing toilets, gravity-fed from overhead water tanks. It's basically the ancestor of your grandma's noisy pull-chain toilet. In short, the earliest civilizations knew something we sometimes forget: poop goes better with plumbing. Roman gossip and sponge sticks. When the Romans said, "All roads lead to Rome," they forgot to mention all sewers do too. The Romans were obsessive about public sanitation. Enter the public toilet. Rows of stone seats with holes, no dividers, and everyone sitting side by side, chatting, sharing the news, and, sharing sponges. Yes, sponges. On sticks. Communal. Stored in vinegar. So picture it. You're sitting next to Marcus Aurelius, doing your thing, and there's a sponge stick situation. "Pass the stick, please," you say politely. He hands it over. You wipe. You return it. Everyone nods. End scene. It was disgusting. It was genius. It was Roman. And it all fed into the Cloaca Maxima, the big drain. A literal marvel of ancient engineering. It carried human waste out of the city and into the Tiber River, where it could be someone else's problem. Even Roman soldiers on campaign had portable toilets, wooden seats over pits. Not exactly luxurious, but better than a battlefield bush. And don't forget the Greeks. They preferred chamber pots, basically bowls that you emptied into the street with a yell of, "Watch out below!" Ah yes, the classic Athenian alarm system. Medieval madness. When the Roman Empire fell, so did decent hygiene. Welcome to the Middle Ages, an era of knights, castles, and questionable sanitation. Inside castles, you had something called the garderobe. Sounds fancy. It wasn't. It was a small closet-like room that jutted out from castle walls, with a hole through which your business dropped into the moat below. That's right. The same moat enemies fell into was also your personal septic system. Outside the castles, common folk used chamber pots. Once full, these were emptied by flinging the contents out the window. The courteous one shouted, "Guard all low," meaning, "Watch out for the water," in French, before splattering pedestrians below. Hence the birth of street umbrellas? Not really, but imagine. Sidewalks? Nope. Streets were central gutters. Everyone walked the edges to avoid the middle, where a river of you-know-what flowed freely. Fun fact, in 14th century Paris, there were laws forbidding people from dumping waste out their windows. Did people follow them? That's adorable. Also, monks had latrines in monasteries that flushed with running water. Yes, even when everyone else was living in literal filth, monks were like, "We prefer the gentle sound of running streams while we poop." The Middle Ages, where everyone smelled like sweat, meat, and regret. Royal flushes and revolutionary pipes. Fast forward to 1596. Meet Sir John Harington, courtier and godson to Queen Elizabeth I. Also, inventor of the flush toilet. Harington built a water closet with a lever, a valve, and a cistern that released water, and boom, the royal bottom was clean. The Queen was impressed, but apparently not enough to make it standard. His invention didn't catch on, possibly because it was 1596 and everyone was still super into, "Just toss it out the window." Then came Alexander coming in 1775. He didn't invent the flush toilet, but he gave it its best feature, the S-trap. This curved pipe held water and blocked the smell of the sewer from wafting back into the house. Yes, the hero of this story is plumbing geometry. By the 1800s, toilets were finally gaining popularity among the rich. And then came Thomas Crapper. No, really. Thomas Crapper was a real person. He was a plumber who improved toilet design, promoted sanitary plumbing, and opened one of the first bathroom showrooms in London. His name probably didn't originate the word crap. That word predates him, but he certainly became associated with all things flushing. Thanks to Crapper, toilets went mainstream, from the Queen's Court to the middle class. The Golden Age of Toilets. By the late 1800s, indoor plumbing was on a roll, pun intended. Toilets were becoming standard in upper-class homes. Then, in 1851, the Great Exhibition in London featured flushing public toilets for the first time. Attendees paid a penny to use them, which gave rise to the phrase, "to spend a penny." Bathrooms were now designed for function and fashion. You could pick your toilet bowl like you picked your wallpaper. Florals? Victorian flourishes? Gold trim? Absolutely. Public health improved drastically. Cities invested in underground sewer systems. Cleanliness became not just godliness, but also trendy. Meanwhile, in America, toilet technology was rapidly adopted in urban centers, though outhouses lingered in rural areas. If you've never experienced a midnight walk to a freezing outhouse, count your blessings. The 20th century brought flushing innovation, dual flush systems, low-flow designs, and, for the bold, bidets. The smartphone era. Welcome to the future. Or rather, the bathroom of the future. Today's toilets do more than flush. They heat. They spray. They sing. In Japan, toilets come with control panels that look like airplane cockpits. You can adjust water pressure, seat temperature, even ambient sound. Do you prefer waterfall or birdsong? Toilets have sensors that lift the lid for you. Some have built-in dryers. Others analyze your urine and give you health tips. Drink more water, Steve. Compost toilets offer eco-friendly options for tiny homes and off-grid living. Portable toilets now come with Wi-Fi. But why? We've come a long way from the humble hole in the ground. Toilets are now tech gadgets, health monitors, and, sometimes, design statements. From ancient stone seats to musical smart toilets, humanity's journey to better bathroom breaks has been long, winding, and occasionally messy. But each step, from hairpin drains to crapper showrooms, from sponge sticks to bidets, has been a testament to our determination to go in comfort and style. So next time you flush, give a little salute to the inventors, the engineers, the unsung plumbers of history. And remember, you are sitting on centuries of innovation. Thanks for listening to From Thrones to Thrones. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and leave a review, preferably not while you're on the toilet, but hey, no judgment. Next week, we're diving into the murky waters of the history of the bathtub, why we soaked before we showered. Until then, stay clean, stay curious, and always remember to flush